Dodgers All-Star and Cy Young Award winner gets rocked in Arizona. Is that part of the plan? I have that story and a ton more coming up. Dodgers Digest right now. Brad J with you. Subscribe and like, and let's get her done. All right, let's get into the first story right off the bat. He's an all-star. He's a Cy Young winner, and he gets rocked in Arizona. Is this really part of the plan? Blake Snell on a rough outing versus the A's yesterday. And, I mean, he got rocked by dudes that had no business hitting home runs on the guy. I mean, he was getting hit triple A guys, double A guys. I mean, look, in Blake Snell's defense, he did have 5 strikeouts, right? But is this part of the plan? Well, we're going to find out because I got Snell in the quote of the day. But let's talk, okay, so Blake Snell's a lefty. We added him to the team. He's supposed to be one of our aces. And, of course, one of our other left-handed aces that we've had forever is Clayton Kershaw. And Kershaw had a little something to say about it. Kershaw is a fan of Snell. All right, here it is. Here's what Kersh says. As a left-handed pitcher, you always look around the league and see left-handed pitchers that you like watching because obviously there's not a lot of left-handers. Clayton said this. Blake's definitely my favorite in the league right now. The way he can throw a baseball is special. It's just pretty. Could you just use another adjective? The way it comes out of his hand, it's just pretty. Snell ended the spring with a 7.71 ERA, 6 strikeouts across 4 2/3 innings, and what was that? 5 strikeouts just yesterday. Southpaw will prepare for his next start against the Hanshin Tigers in Tokyo. So they play that team, then they also play the Cubs for 2 games out there. So that's the plan there. And you look at Clayton. Clayton's a fan. Clayton's a fanboy. I like it. Look, you look how many left-handers starting pitching there is, and there's not a lot. So you're going to lock on the guy that you like the best. And Kersh is a fan of Snell. Now, with that being said, what does Snell say about his outing yesterday, huh? It's your Dodger Digest quote of the day. All right, quote of the day, Dodgers Digest, going to Snell. What does Snell say about his outing yesterday? Well, it says it right here. Everyone wants to come into spring, and they expect, Cy Young Blake. But that's not realistic. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm getting better. It takes all of that spring to really start figuring it out that I need to do this or I need to do this a little differently than I did last time. You're figuring out who you are this year, and it's such a big thing, Blake Snell. So it's part of the plan, right? A lot of people say, and I see the comments all the time too about, look, it's spring, it doesn't count, it's not that big a deal, but it is still. You still want to put forth things that are working. So if you go into spring training and you get rocked the whole season long and you're a great pitcher and you're like, hey, that's just spring, right? Well, you didn't really work things out. So if you're having problems or you need to do something differently, just like Snell said right there, I mean, you got to go back and look at it. Check it out. It takes all of spring to really start figuring it out that I need to do this or I need to do that a little differently than the last time. And that's what I'm talking about, Willis. That is what I'm talking about right there. That is what it's about. You want to change and make things better. And so there you go. So part of the plan, I'm not worried about it. Snell's going to be fine. But I did like the fact that he had 5 strikeouts in that game. I did not like the way that AA and AAA dudes were teeing off on him. And then one thing that I noticed about Snell's pitching yesterday is every single batter he would pull out the card, right, out of his pocket and take a look at it. Because these guys were so new, so he didn't have a track record facing these guys, but he kept doing that every single player. And even the Dodgers commentators were talking about it too as well. All right, will Dalton Rushing finally get the call? Man, Dalton Rushing, that guy has been crushing it, and everybody wants to see him get up there, be on the team, and represent the Dodgers. And we really thought that last year was going to be the year for Dalton that he was going to get in. I figured that Dalton was going to get in by, postseason. And unfortunately, that did not work out for him. And obviously when you got Will Smith signing a massive contract, and then you need Barnesy in there because Barnesy always has to catch Kersh. And so there's really not that room. Now, with Will Smith still nursing that little ankle and the ankle situation that he has, I think ankle or foot for Will Smith. Look at what he's done in the spring. He's not played a lot. Where you see some guys getting 25 ABs, he's not. He's gotten maybe, 6, I think, ABs? That's all he's gotten. So they're really kind of slowing down with Will Smith a little bit. And I think, could this be the opportunity that Dalton Rushing gets in and catch? I know they tried Dalton out in left field. I know that was a thing, but I got to think you want him catching. I really do. All right, here's what he's done. And I mean, this stuff speaks for itself. Over 3 seasons in the Dodgers farm system, he's a fast rising slugger. He's hit the lights out every stop. Look at this. 49 total home runs, 168 ribbies, 273 on the batting average, .930 OPS. Last year he reached AAA by the end of the season. It briefly seemed like he was going to come up late season call. That's what I was saying. I thought he was going to get that call too. But he has been experimenting, like I also said, in left field. The phone never rang, and Dalton Rushing is playing the waiting game. And I did not mean to rhyme that. It just kind of worked out that way. So what's your thoughts on Dalton Rushing, man? I want to see him on the team, right? And I think that if we didn't have the Barnes situation, and I'm not harping on Barnes. He's batting over 400 in spring right now. But, I mean, he's obviously not going to keep that up through the year. But, like, you look at Dalton Rushing, that dude is a power hitter. That dude can go oppo like nobody's business. He can hit oppo field home runs, and that's the power that he has. And when can we showcase it? I don't care how we get him in, but I think we really need to get that man in, whether it's left field. Like to see him catch, but, we'll see how that goes. And we'll watch Will Smith's injury, too. We'll see how that happens, too, as well. All right, keeping the party going. Next story, let's talk. Dodgers star pitcher out for the entire 2025 season. We all knew this was coming. He had the surgery. Michael Groves out for the entire season. Don't like to see stuff like that happen, but you know what? It's part of baseball, and hopefully he'll be able to come back in 2026. He was expected to make the big league roster. That's why everybody was talking about it. So what the Dodgers have the plan now, the plan for relievers at this point is obviously going to be Tanner Scott, Vesia, Banda, Kirby Yates, and Blake Trinan to open the season of bullpen. Currently, there's a competition. Final 3 spots still open, but that race is quickly coming to a conclusion. The Dodgers will be traveling to Japan on Wednesday. So there you go. Who are the other 3 spots that's gonna make things happen? Also, and the one thing I want to cover before we go here is Outman. Talking about Outman, saying he's Outman. He's probably not going to make the team. He's going to start in AAA. And even though he's been on the Dodgers starting lineup for the last 2 years, right? Is this the year he's not and he's relinquished to AAA? Well, he goes deep. Yesterday, I think it was a 3-run home run that Outman hit. So maybe he's listening. And you know what it was? It was a full count. What was it? Was it a full count breaking ball? I think it was a full count with a breaking ball. But Outman goes deep. He also got a walk in the game. So maybe that's good news. Let's see what he can do towards the end of spring here as we start to wrap things up. And speaking of wrapping things up, that's going to wrap it up for Dodgers Digest. I'm Brad J. Thanks for tuning in. Always remember, as you go through your awesome day, to think Dodger Blue. See ya.